Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right, I'm going to go back to gallery view. So having a tough time getting the speaker view to work right. Okay. Let's just start with the basic bridging. Okay. Exercises. So all I want you to do at first is we're going to rotate our knees to one side or the other, right? Make room. Look our eyes toward the side that we're going to roll or bridge through, and rock up on the shoulder and just touch side to side. Come back to the center, rotate your knees, touch side to side. All right, this is the power shrimp that we did the other day. Good, keep going. I'm going to come check everybody out. The goal here is to go side to side so we can displace the weight, right? Not carry our opponent's weight. All right, good. Now let's do the head pendulum variation of that. Everything is the same. I'm just going to pendulum my head. This was for the bump and roll and mount. So my head moves. I come back. My head pendulums. I come back. My head pendulums. I come back. You guys remember the distinction here for this one. Josh, come here. Was when I want to do the bump and roll and mount, right? Hands on the floor. Okay, so when I hug here, if I just go to bump him, he posts his arm. I've got his full arm there, right? It's very difficult for me to deal with, okay? Because he's got skeletal strength. Okay, scoot back just a little bit. Good. Okay, but now if I pendulum my head, watch the way his arm bends when he tries to post it. You see that bend in the elbow? That's the difference between me being able to get up and get on top and getting stopped in that bump and roll. So let's do it. Let's go pendulum the head, side to side with our bump. Good. All right. So the first bump, since I didn't kind of go over this real quick, the first bump is more for our side control escapes, right? The first bump and bridge, we covered about 3 different scenarios where we would use that bump, right? One, or actually I think we covered 2. One is here, not side control yet, that's the power shrimp. One is here, right? If I just bump straight up, I don't displace his weight and he can lock his feet behind me and trap my hips. Let's turn around again. When I bump straight up, he locks his feet, traps my hips. Now my hips are stuck, okay? When I turn my knees and bump to the side, right? Now he can't lock his feet the same way. Go ahead and lock your feet, Josh. It's very difficult. Just turn around. And what this also allows me to do is go into my power shrimp, right? So I'm here, right? And I get my leg through. Okay, but we'll talk about the shrimps in a second, but just giving you a practical application for that bridge. The other area we use that bridge was maybe when they weren't settled into side control and we were turning away here like this, okay? The difference is here, when I bridge, right, I'm tucking my elbow into my hip like this, okay? So again, you can see it. when I'm here and I'm bridging, this elbow, as soon as my hips come off the floor, my elbow need to be here. Okay, if I leave my arm up like this, he's gonna put a hook in and start to take my back, right? So I wanna make sure, on this variation, when I'm bumping up and turning myself all the way over to my knees, that my elbow's here on my hips anytime I'm turning away from somebody. I normally don't recommend, particularly for beginners, to turn away, but there's going to be a time and place for it in your jiu-jitsu, and you want to make sure that you have that elbow tight so they can't swim that hook in and take your back. All right? All right, let's give it a shot. Do you guys understand the difference between the other bumps and this one?
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I want you to jump.
Okay.
So,
Talking to him?
my first bump is just here, bumping the hips up, right? I can't go all the way over to my knees. Okay, that's fine. However, if he's behind me, I'm gonna take my back. I need to know that when I bump up here like this elbow needs to come down here. So I block him from taking the back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Josh, one more time.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. When I'm here like this, and maybe I'm moving away and I'm turning this way with my bridge, here, this elbow's coming in low, so it keeps his leg here from sliding in and creating a hook. Okay, so this time all I want you to do is bridge, right? Elbow in, then come to your knees. We didn't cover this one yesterday in noon class, Austin. We covered it in Monday night's class.
Where's my
All right, good time. Okay. The last bump we did, the last bridge that we did was the wrestling bridge where we came up onto our head. Okay. I normally only use this to escape arm bars. So I'm here like this, right? And then I'm going to turn over. I'm going to bring my arm out like somebody's attacking and taking the arm lock. So my hips are up. I'm on top of my head. I'm going to rotate over my opposite shoulder of the arm that's getting attacked and bring my body around. Okay, so in a live setting, this is what it looks like. Josh is taking the arm lock here, right? I'm trying not to give it up. This is a last ditch escape. If I do it too late, I'm going to get stuck. Okay, if I stay on my shoulders, I might not have the flexibility. So I like to go up onto my head. So when I go, I'm going to release. I'm going to go up onto my head and go into it right away. So I'm up, head turns, I'm turning, I'm coming up, and hopefully I'm passing the guard from there. Got it? Or do we need to see it again? All right, got it. Good. Thank you. Let's try it. Let's take the Tommy and those bozos. Rich. That's smooth. Matt, these guys are really missing out on not doing this stuff. This is stuff I've never covered with them, you know? I think the
thought is that, you know, virtual training might not be like, it's not the same, you're not rolling, you know, which is what everyone loves to do, but it's like this stuff is super important. Remember that.
Wait, I'm having a mental fart on my left side.
Yeah, I saw that. Remember, we got to go away. If our right arm is getting arm locked, we're rolling onto our left shoulder, right?
Okay.
So it's a little weird in that your arm is going this way, but your head and your body is turning the opposite way. You're like,
Okay. Gotcha. So going over the head.
yeah.
Ashley Bejarano. Hey. I didn't roll my R enough. Bejarano. Is that better? Ashley's at work. Arm lock's getting arm barred, Hector. Which one's getting arm barred?
This one.
Which arm? That one? Okay,
Yeah.
me see.
So it's.
Yes. Yes.
Is that it?
Yep. Move your feet and come over. Good. Good.
Try the other side.
There you go, Gavin. Gavin, I'm going to have to mute you, though. All right. Good job. Okay. The final parts of the review were the sliding shrimp and the power shrimp. Okay. If you remember,
Most of the time when we do shrimps in class, it's kind of for a warm-up. So I'm not really sure how much you're aware of how you're moving. You're just kind of mimicking everybody else, right? But when I'm shrimping, right, I'm going to do a power shrimp first, right? I'm bumping my hip. It's like the bridge that we just did where we're bumping up here. Okay? I'm bumping up this way. But now my hips are shooting backwards, right? So my butt ends up about where my arms are. You see how my arms are out here like this? Okay? So as I shrimp up and back, my hip should be in that position. The other thing I want to do is make sure that as I shrimp, right, that my top shoulder surpasses my bottom shoulder. Okay, a lot of people put their shoulder in this position. You know, my top shoulder is not passing my bottom shoulder. Raise your hand if you can. I got y'all on mute. Everybody sees it? Okay. If my back exposed to the mat. So if Josh puts his shoulder down from here, he's got it right. I'm going to fall down. Obviously, he's not going to be in that position, but we use this position to kind of because it has more leverage here. But even if he's just in normal side control and I'm just shrimped here, it's going to be hard for me to keep that shoulder up and not get flattened out. Okay, scoot back, Josh. So as soon as I cross this shoulder in front of the bottom shoulder, and Josh goes to push, now he's on his toes and he can't push me over. You see the difference in the power that structure creates versus having your back exposed to the mat?
It'll make a huge difference. All right. We use the power shrimp from side control. We use it from mount primarily. Okay, so everybody do the power shrimp, then we'll go through the sliding shrimp, and then I'll show you the practical application, and then we'll move on to today's lesson. All right, good. Now let's move on to the sliding shrimp, right? The sliding shrimp is the one we most typically do in class during warm-ups, where we're just here, right? We're rotating up onto our shoulder and we're sliding. Still, you can't see it, but there's about this much space between my hips and the floor. So still, only my shoulder and my feet are touching the ground. Okay, that allows me to pivot and shrimp very quickly, right? If I keep my butt on the ground, it's going to make it much more difficult for me to move. It's going to take a lot more energy, and it's going to be a lot easier for the person on top to control me. Okay, so you're not dragging your butt, you're sliding it. It's like it's hovering. It's so low that probably the cloth on my pants are touching the ground, but my hips aren't. The weight's on my shoulder and my toes to shrimp, okay? Just a sliding shrimp. Again, try to make sure that the top shoulder surpasses the bottom shoulder, all right? The practical application for both of these shrimps are, come here, Josh. Come to this side. If Josh is in side control and he doesn't have very tight control of me, maybe he just passed my guard as I'm trying to settle in, or maybe he's just not very strong in this position. All I need to do is the sliding shrimp, right? Slide, shrimp my knee in, and then come through and finish getting back to my guard. If Josh has a little more pressure, I need to do the power shrimp, where I'm turning my knees just like that bridge. I'm bumping my body into it. Do you see how I'm redirecting his body this way? I'm not going straight up into his weight. I'm trying to shift his weight toward my head. Here, now I'm shrimping out and putting my knee in. And then I'm going to finish with sliding shrimps to get to my guard. Right? The other scenario that we use the power shrimp in is when we're mounted. So he mounts. I block his hips here, right? If I just try to slide shrimp from here, I'm not going anywhere. I've got to get his knees off the floor and force him to widen. So instead of going straight up and carrying his weight and allowing him to hook his feet behind my back, I'm going to power shrimp out to my right here with my hands framed on his hips. Elbow in tight. I don't want my elbow loose. So I'm here, I'm up. Now I'm able to slide my hips out because this back leg is light. You see how my body moved his leg? Now my knee comes in. Here, I trap the far leg, and all I'm gonna do is a sliding shrimp to finish getting back to my guard.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Power shrimp and sliding shrimps.
Or did we just do the power shrimp? I think we just did. Let's do the sliding shrimp then. So much hotter here. You turn the air up to save this. Gotta save it where I can right now. Good, guys, good. Everybody's looking good. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got some good stuff today, okay? We're gonna talk about something that's rarely talked about in jiu-jitsu, but it's another very important move. It's called a reverse shrimp, all right? So I'll let you all watch. And then we'll try it, and then we'll talk through it a little bit, okay?
So with the reverse shrimp, normally with my regular shrimps, right, I'm pushing off this leg and I'm pulling my hips back. With the reverse shrimp, I'm going to do the opposite, right? I'm going to pull with my toes and then slide my hips forward. Pull with my toes, slide my hips forward. So I'm pulling here, right? Sliding forward. Pulling here, getting my leg out as wide as I can, right? Sliding my hips forward.
Okay. Let's just work on that movement a few times. And then does anyone have any questions on the movement? Raise your hand if you do. I guess I'm the only one with the question. All right, let's try that movement a few times and we'll talk about the practical application of it.
Question came up just doing it the first time.
Yeah.
Are your hips moving in the direction that your foot is pulling you?
Yes. Yes.
So my foot is here. My hips are going to move toward that. So I'm
Okay.
almost
Gotcha.
going with that foot.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, also guys, the back leg here helps elevate my hips a little bit. Right? So it elevates as I pull my hips through with the other leg.
Okay.
Most of my weight, like 2% of my weight is still going to be on this front. So this just provides a little bit of stability, right? So I'm here, pulling. I'm pulling.
Okay.
Mosquitoes.
What's the question? Sorry. Anybody have a question? All right, cool.
Mosquitoes are getting there. I'm going there.
Okay, let's talk about.
Why can't we do this inside?
Because we're on our phone. Go inside, buddy. Mosquitoes getting you. I don't want you to get hurt.
Okay. There's a couple ways this applies. All right. Stand up here, Josh. So if somebody's standing and they're looking to pass my guard, Josh, I want you to pass in a circle this way and push my knees this way to the floor. And we're here like this, okay? And he's trying to come around me, all right? And start to kind of like fall a little bit into side control. So we're here like this, right? And he's starting to fall, okay? Here I might not be able to turn and get my knees back in, okay? So I'm going to use my reverse shrimp to get a little space. Here, I use my forearms into frame, and my leg comes over, and I invert back into place. Don't worry so much about the inverting right now. That's going to be difficult for some of you. But think about the reverse shrimping part, okay? This is just one way we apply it. We're here, okay? If I can, I'm going to bring this knee in and play this game, okay? If I can't, if he's controlling that leg and it's down, I'm going to need to reverse shrimp, right? I build a frame with my forearms. Turn face the camera a little bit. You guys see the frame that I have on my chest here, or on Josh's chest with my forearms? Okay, that's going to give me the space to bring my knee in and start to cross over, then get back into my guard play. Okay? Similar thing from side control. Sometimes I'm in side control and I'm trying to use the conventional elbow escape and I'm not able to get it, right? I need to get more distance. Now I can use my reverse shrimp here, okay? I can come here, right? Put that foot out, move my hips away, and then potentially either re-guard that way or use that, scoot back a little bit, or use that same inverted technique to get to where I need to be. So he's tight on me. I can't move otherwise, right? I'm here, okay? If I want to invert, I'm going to need a little more space. So as soon as I pull, I'm going to bring this knee up into him a little bit. Bring my forearms underneath. Then invert back into my guard. Josh was kind enough to let me invert into omoplata. All right, you want to see those again? Do we need to see them from a different angle? Just raise your hands if you want to see them again. I got you all on mute. Okay. From a different angle, raise your hand if you want a different angle. Okay. All right, so side control, okay? He's too tight on me. I can't get my knee in on this side. So I'm going to hit my reverse shrimp. Notice I'm turning my hips away from him now, okay? And I'm pulling my hips away from his inside knee. Right, switch sides real quick, Josh. Or actually, let me go this way. So look, this inside knee or this hand on my hip, go ahead and bring the hand on the other side. Put your knee close to my hip. This knee right here is the one I got to beat. If I can't get it in with the conventional shrimp, I may have to reverse shrimp to create more space. You see that? And then bring the knee in, right? Or if I do the inverted variation, okay, I'm going to be here, right? I'm going to reverse shrimp, get some space here, get my forearms inside, and come through into where I can play my guard. Got it? All right, let's give it a shot.
Some stuff right here.
Lane, are you gonna invert? Which way are you inverting?
So if I'm going to invert, I need to keep moving my body away from him.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm going to go elbow escape, I move my body out and then back toward him. So
Okay.
I'm going to just do the elbow escape, right? I'm posting this foot out here, right? I'm moving my body away to get some extra space.
Right.
And I'm moving it back toward him. If I'm going to invert, moving my body here, okay? And in fact, I want to use this knee a little bit if I can to get him up. I build that frame with my elbows, right?
Okay. Perfect.
Got it?
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
really pull your hips farther. Philip. Or that's Austin on the bottom, huh? Austin, when you close that leg out, pull your hips farther away from him before you go back to elbow escape, right? So you're here, right? I want you to pull, sweep your hips over, and then I kind of turn my hips all the way from this angle. This angle. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
What was the question?
well, so Lane, so if someone's on side control right here, I'm going to pull my hips away like this
Yep.
and then try to get back in guard
Yeah.
for the elbow escape.
But here's what you're doing, right? So if someone's over here, it's like you're pulling your hips away. You're kind of just scooting your hips like this.
Okay.
If I'm going to elbow escape them, I'm going to lift my hips up, right? And then turn right into my elbow escape.
Good. All right, cool. Okay. So now we're going to move on to butt scooting, right? It's one of those things that people kind of like make fun of jiu-jitsu for sometimes, but it can be very effective if you know how to use it right. Okay. So there's a couple different ways. We're going to basically scoot either forward or backwards. Okay. The benefit of scooting on your butt is to manage distance. All right. So a couple ways I'm going to do this. One, I'm going to have one arm posted behind me. My arm in front is going to be in tight, close to like my knee. I don't want to stretch it out like that. Okay. And I can just scoot forward like this, right? Or I can scoot backwards. My hips are coming off the floor. My elbow's in. Again, my arm isn't straight. My elbow's in a little bit. And I'm just scooting forward and backwards. Right? Or you can rotate forward, switch arms, right? And then backwards. Okay? Let's try that a little bit. Let's go forward and backwards, just scooting on your butt like that. Good. Everybody has that pretty well, so we're going to move on, and then we're going to talk about the practical application of all these. Okay. If I'm using two hands, sometimes I'll use two hands to scoot backwards if I really need to go quick. Right? So somebody's closing distance on me very aggressively, I may use two hands to go quick. I never or rarely will use two hands going forward because I want at least one of my hands up to protect my his grips getting to my knees. Okay, so I can go backwards here, but not forward with two hands on the floor. Okay, the other option moving forward is just a more aggressive shrimp, or not shrimp, scoop. So I'm moving, I'm covering a lot more distance. Okay, so I'm just covering a lot more distance. I'm not taking the nice slow kind of managed distance. I'm like moving in really close to attack. All right, so let's work two hands backwards. And then let's go, ooh, baby. Then we're gonna go much more aggressive coming forward. Got it?
You know, aggressive.
Yeah, that's it, Philip. When you're going aggressive forward, yeah, always switch hands. You move the fastest that way. Good. Killing it. Good job. Okay, so we've got those pretty well. And they're kind of easy to do in warm-up. They're pretty easy movement patterns. But what I find is a lot of people can do the movement, but they don't really understand how the movement applies to what they're doing, right? So many times you'll have an opponent, come here, Josh, who starts maybe standing or on their knees, but they're not quite engaged with you, right? So go ahead and get on your knees, right? I may use, instead of waiting on him to come and get grips on me, you know, if we're here and I wait on Josh to get his grips, now I'm going to start to be in trouble. He's going to start working to pass my guard and I got to recover. So sometimes when they're close, sometimes maybe I'll take a step back, make them come to me. Other times I'll just start shrimping in and looking for my arm drag opportunities, okay? Or shrimping in to close that distance really quickly so he doesn't have a chance to get his grips. So even if I'm not looking for an arm drag, I may just come here and here and lock up my grips and start to play my guard, okay? If we're here and he's reaching for grips and I'm battling, sometimes I'll just scoot back. This gives me a chance to either come forward quickly or it forces him to come to me. So if he comes to me and starts reaching, then I come in and start to establish my grips. It's the same thing standing, okay? So when Josh stands, right, if I don't like his positioning, let's say he's moving in close on me, you know, I might scoot back a little bit, okay? If he starts to move in super aggressive, I might use both hands to scoot back. Okay. If he's just kind of standing there neutral, right? I'm going to start to come in and start getting my grips. Okay, gripping the lapel, gripping the belt, you know, working to like grip and hook the foot. Okay, or grip and hook the foot, right? Working on getting my grips and establishing my position. So if you have a partner, kind of play around with that distance. If you don't, just imagine that there's a partner in front of you and think about how you might apply it, right? We're either looking to scoot in for grips, possibly an arm drag, okay? And we're looking to back away to control distance, all right? All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, looking good. Really quick, this might be for the more advanced people on the line, Ashley and Robbie, but I'm not sure how many of you all play the belt grip. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you a couple ways. One is going to end up being a more advanced entry. The other one is going to be a more basic kind of entry. Okay, so this is the reason we're in the gis today. All right, so let's say he starts on his knees. Okay. A lot of times I've just been trying to play for the belt grip because I can control the height of his hips. If his hips are back, it's very difficult for me to sweep him. So if I move in and I scoot in and I'm here, and let's say I've got both hooks underneath for a butterfly guard, if his hips are back far, it's going to be really difficult for me to sweep him, right? The one thing I've been doing a lot lately is I've been using this movement pattern to come in and get a grip on his belt, right? So now engage, Josh. All right, so when he engages, now I have the ability to elevate his hips, okay? If he's standing, I've been using that belt grip to go into my ashigarami or my single leg X. So when I'm rotating back and forth, I'm latching onto this belt grip.
I'm grabbing the ankle, coming up here. A couple reasons this works well. One of his main objectives, if I let go and try to grab the sleeve or the lapel, those are good options too. But if Josh starts to set his hips back, right, and starts to drop his weight, it makes it tough on me to elevate him. Okay? If I have the belt grip and he goes to set his hips back, it's much more. See how I get his hands to the mat right away? It allows me to control and go into some of the entries that I want to go into. Okay? So it keeps his hips over mine. And also, when you start playing this game, you'll realize some guys will grab this free arm and elevate their hips. You know, they grab the sleeve and elevate the hips like that. So when you come in and I grab here, right, or let's say I don't grab the belt, let's say I'm reaching for the lapel, and I come into here, he's going to just grab my sleeves and just posture up, like this. And I kind of get stuck in this position trying to get this grip away. If I can, I'll get to the belt, right? And now I have much more. You see how much more I can knock him off balance if I don't have the belt? Go, Josh. is very difficult for me. As soon as I grab the belt, I have a much greater ability to start pulling him where I want to pull him. Okay? So I can use the belt to kind of get their hips over my hips. Or that ashigarami position, I can use the belt just to move their hips enough to off balance. All right, let's play around with that for a few more minutes. Play around with sliding. If you're new to jiu-jitsu and you don't really play that second game, I want your opponent, imagine your opponent starting on their knees, right? And you're sliding in and you're grabbing the belt here, okay? And then you're getting an underhook if you can, or even just a lapel grip and pulling them up and just elevating them like so. Think about elevating them. All right? You guys don't have gis on, so Philip, Austin, I don't want to see you guys reaching in each other's shorts.
My dummy does.
There you go. You got a dummy. I love it. It's homemade.
You always want to grab the front of the belt, not behind.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the front of the belt from this position. I don't think that's an always rule. Like if I have an underhook on him, I'll grab the back of the belt too. But for this particular scenario, we're grabbing the front. Especially.
Lane, for that sweep when you have the hips elevated, are you sweeping to where you have the underhook?
Yeah. So if I'm going to finish it sweep, it's called a butterfly sweep, right?
Yep.
All I'm having you guys do right now is elevate them. But if I'm going for the sweep, okay, once I'm able to pull Josh up where I need to be, right, I'm going to hook an arm and I'm going to drop one leg to the floor.
Okay.
Sweep them over. It's called a butterfly sweep. Some people call it an elevator sweep. Did everyone see that? So when I pull them up on top, I'm hooking the arm, right? I'm going to post 1 foot on the floor and use this opposite foot to raise my hips like this. Up and over on top. So again on Josh, come here. I elevate him, I hook the arm, I drop this foot. So is this your bad shoulder? Okay. And I start to lift my hips, elevate, and come up and sweep. You'll see me sweep people a lot with some variation of that.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Were you keeping a hold of the gi while you're doing that sweep, Lane? So the foot goes down, this foot goes up, your hands?
Yeah, with the one hand, I'm keeping a hold of the belt. With the other hand, I'm hooking the arm.
Okay.
I might grab his lapel at first and the belt so I can get him up and elevated. And once he gets elevated, I'm hooking the arm.
Okay. This foot goes down.
Overhook the arm over there. Is that Austin on the bottom? Overhook the arm to the side you want to sweep. Drop that same foot. Drop that same side foot. So you're gonna go over his arm, not underneath, right? And don't just drop the leg to the floor. Don't just drop the leg to the floor like this and try to kick him over. I'm dropping this foot to the floor and I'm lifting my hips over. You see the difference?
So only go for one underhook when we first scoot in, if you're planning on doing that sweep.
Well, sometimes I'm looking for something different initially. I'm looking for like leg attacks. So you could go in. So a lot of times I'll elevate them and then take the arm. Sometimes I'll just hook the arm right away. If I'm purely just looking for the sweep and I get him here, I can overhook this arm right away and start to bring him up and into me, right? And then start to elevate over. But usually I don't always grab the arm first because I'm trying to go underneath them to get leg attacks.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So now we've added some more movement patterns, right? Eventually we want to get to the point where, like I mentioned the other day, that we're shadow boxing, right? Like we're visualizing an opponent, let's say shadow boxing, shadow grappling, where we're kind of visualizing our opponent, right? So I might start with a few sliding shrimps. Okay. I may go power shrimp here. Now I might go bump to one side, bump to the other. Maybe I hook the arm, tilt my head, bump up all the way over, set on my bottom, scoot, come forward, scoot slow, hands back, scoot fast, boom, scoot, scoot, right? Just kind of mixing in the different scenarios, right? Maybe somebody throws my legs back like this, and I need to come down and reverse shrimp, right, into elbow escape, or a reverse shrimp into my invert, all right? So you get to the point where we're able to connect enough of these together, and if you just kind of keep moving around like that for 10 or 15 minutes, it's a really good warm-up to get you, to get your body going, to get it loose, and get it moving like you're a jiu-jitsu player, okay? We're pushing up on the 8 o'clock time now. Don't forget those rucksack workouts, right? So put some weight in your ruck. You can do upright rows, do it for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. If that's too easy, take a 20-second break or a 10-second break, okay? Put it on your back, do some squats. Put it on your back, do some planks. Hold it in front, do some front squats. Use it to do push-ups if you want. You can also use it to do burpees. Okay, I can take my bag here like this, right? Have it in my hand, go down, up, 1, 2. I can use it to do my kettlebell swings. Okay, just like that, right? Upright rows. And come here, do bent over rows, right? I can come down here, work on my power cleans, right? I can throw it up above my head if I want, right? I can just do it shoulders to head, or I can make it more explosive. Throwing it up over my head. Okay, if you don't have other weight equipment, this is a super versatile piece of equipment. Just get some weight in there. I use all GoRuck stuff. It's very expensive, but it's very high quality. But if you can't afford the GoRuck plates, if you can find like sheets of steel that are cut out, or actually the backpacks are the most expensive. The weights really aren't that bad. The weights inside, you know, they're just a long piece of metal. Sorry, I got a bunch of other stuff in here too. But it's just a long piece of metal, right? So that way you get a nice balanced pack, and you can put it where a computer would normally go, you know, whether it's inside here, there's a spot for it, or if there's a computer spot on the back, it fits nicely in there and it holds well, and it balances pretty well too. All right. Cool. Anybody have any questions? All right, y'all. Man, everything's falling out. My twist ties. I'm gonna tie Josh up with one of these after we're done. Good. Keep training. This is gonna 100% make you guys better. It's gonna give you an advantage when we get back to like full force. All right. These are great drills. Most of this stuff, my advanced students don't even know. Okay. So the details and how to apply it and all that stuff, a lot of them don't even know. So you guys get some super secret ninja stuff just by showing up for these virtual classes and making me really drill down on like these fundamental movements that we don't often have time to cover. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Have a great day. We'll see y'all soon.
Thanks, Lance.
Appreciate it.
Happy quarantine. Yeah.